Okay, so with this game, I want to show you everything that we do when we develop a game, even though it is advanced. And so in this lesson, we are going to create a weapon structure. It is a lot better than keep creating variables for the weapons. So before this gets too big, let's actually start creating the structure now. And structures, I can try to show you and you will understand a lot better. So in the blueprints, let's right click and make a new folder. And let's call this one structs. So structures, and right click again, set the color to this color here, just like before. So inside of this folder, let's right click and go to blueprint. And we have something called a structure. So click on it, and I'm going to call it st as a prefix for structure. And let's call it weapon info. So this structure contains the info for the weapons. Now, when you open up a structure, the only thing you do inside of here is add variables. So if you add a variable, you can choose what this variable should be called. You can choose the type, just like here in the blueprint where you create a new variable, same thing. Now, inside of the structure, you can have the weapons info all together here. So you can see you can add multiple variables inside of here, and you can have all of the info for the weapon inside of here. For example, how fast can the weapon shoot? What is the name of the weapon? And all of these things that you want. For example, the thumbnail for the weapon when you add it to the inventory. What should it cost in the shop when you buy the weapon? So we can have a coin value or a dollar value and so on. So all the information for the weapon can be inside of here. So you can see you can gather all the variables inside of a structure. So you don't have to make like 100 variables inside of this blueprint. They're actually containing it inside of this structure. So let us go ahead and start making one. So I'm going to delete all of them. The first one here, I'm going to call name. So I need a name for my weapon. And I'm going to change it to the type of string because string is just some sort of a text we can write. Now, very, very important, the difference between a string and a text. A text can be localized or translated to different languages. So, for example, if I want my game to be German or Japanese or Chinese, in the future, I have to select text. For example, if I want to translate the name of the weapon. If you choose string, you cannot translate it in the future. So make sure if you want a game that can be translated because you want to translate it in the future, go ahead and select text. However, I'm going to select string because weapon weapon names like an AK-47 or an M4A4, even though I change it to different languages, it's not really going to translate. I mean, what is AK-47 called in different languages? It's the same name. So that is why I choose a string instead of a text, even though I want to translate my game in the future. So string for the name, and then remember, we added this weapon type as well. So this weapon type we can actually have inside of the structure as well. So I can just call it type. You can also call it weapon type. That is fine. Call it whatever you want here to make it more visible for you. So over here, let's change it to weapon type. Remember, we made that enumeration weapon type. And for example, we can also add a new one and call class. And the class is if you search for weapon base and take it here and select this class reference. So what the class is, you can spawn a new weapon from this one. So maybe we need it, maybe not. It's always nice to have a class for whatever game you make, because maybe in the future you need to spawn that weapon back again into the world. So always nice to have this class here. Now we have a structure. It is small, but it is nice, and we created one. And later on, you can add, for example, shooting speed for that weapon, or and then you can select a float for the number of like how fast it can shoot. Maybe later on you can say reload speed and so on. So you can see you can add a lot of information about this weapon. Maybe you want to add like a shop value, or you want to add something like description, or you want to add a thumbnail for the inventory. So you can see you can add a lot of things. But for now, let's just add these. And I'm going to add more to this structure later when we need it. So now that we have created this structure, we can move on to creating a data table. And I will tell you in the next lesson what a data table is. But for now, awesome, you created a structure, and let us move on.